VariCam is an amazing machine. The dual native ISO is incredible. It's a technology designed into the sensor to fundamentally alter how it gathers light information. Depending on lighting conditions, one can set the camera's native sensitivity to 800 ISO or 5000 ISO without adding any noise or otherwise affecting the image quality at all. It can shoot a wide range of frame rates. One thing that sets the VariCam LT apart is that it can shoot 4K at 60p as well as 2K at 240 and either record internally in different various video formats or output as raw data to third-party recorders. I would also say that the in-camera color correction is a big deal for this camera. The new VariCam LT can accept 3D LUTs as well as CDLs. Precision color adjustments can be made directly on the camera via Wi-Fi connection or to a free program on an iPad or by going directly into the computer running industry standard color correction programs. The VariCam is the kind of camera that you would consider if you were more concerned about saving money or moving fast. People tend to gravitate towards our camera when it's, failure's not an option, but we want to, have really fast changeouts. For example, using found light or I've seen DPs, use moonlight to shoot with, and you can't do that with just any camera. But what it does is it gives you an ability to move fast, and time is money always. And so I think the VariCam to a lot of people becomes a great tool because the color science and it just looks great. The picture quality is amazing. But once they really start using it, it becomes a huge asset to their entire production because it's literally saving them dollars. And in some ways, if you count, the fact that it has 2 native ISOs, and so, in certain circumstances where with any of the other camera, you would have lost the light, maybe you're shooting and you lost the sun behind the trees or something, then you're done. With this camera, however, you can put it in a native 5000 and it may give you that extra little bit of time or that extra little bit of sensitivity to get you through that last shot or to get that one more shot that you had an idea for. Just completely invaluable when you talk about people who, time is everything and they got to get the shot. Yeah, cameras are tools, right? If you were building the same thing, then you would obviously grab the same tool that everybody else is using. But I think as a creative tool, you kind of want to find new ways to build the world, right? And so, the VariCam's a really great option because with 2 native ISOs, you can do some things in low light that no other camera can do. What's happening is that the circuitry on the back of the chip that makes it, native at any given point, there's just 2 sets back there. So when you're in native 800, say for normal daytime shooting like every other, camera would be in 14, 15 stops, when you get into a low light situation, you go into native 5000, you're back to a clean, crisp picture, but at a 5000 ISO. So even if saying like if the sweet spot is 2500, you wouldn't go from 800 up to 2500 and introduce that noise. You would go from 5000 and go down to 2500. But I got to tell you, a lot of the people that I talk to, it's because it's a different paintbrush, right? There's a guy, Michael Fitzmaurice, who, just one of the best, and he uses used the moon in a large portion of his nighttime scenes in this film called Monolith. He lit with the moon. You know what I mean? So he has this film with this very unique look to it that nobody else is getting right now. And so I think that, you know, that ability to have a flavor that nobody else is getting is super attractive. The customer for the VariCam is the biggest and baddest filmmakers on the planet, and not apologizing for it. It's the kind of machine that when you pick it up, you realize this thing's built for people who work. Right now we're heading to Talamus in Boston. Talamus Sales and Rentals is a VariCam house, so we're gonna take them some footage that we shot on the VariCam this morning, and we're going to drop off a P2 card for one of their customers. They've been on the scene for a long time doing audio and have become really good at doing camera.
Gregor, saving the day again. Saving the day again. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Cool.
So definitely come in handy.
My name is Mike Duca. I'm the senior video technician here at Talamus, Boston.
And I'm Dan Isola, business development. Talamus is full-on rental and sales for Panasonic, as well as many other lines, including Electrosonics, Sennheiser, and a whole bunch of good audio products in between.
He's still talking.
Thank you. One of our most popular cameras by far, VariCam LT by Panasonic. Pretty much every single one of them that we have is out on a number of different TV shows, everything from Hotel Impossible to untitled pilots that cannot be named for NDA reasons. But and this one we're doing demos with today. I've been shooting with Panasonic for a very, very long time. You know, I remember when the tape-based VariCam came out, and I was shooting 21 Sexiest Beaches for Travel Channel. That was all shot on VariCam tape-based. Now I'm forgetting the model number on it. What was it called?
What, the old VariCam?
Yeah, what was that?
That's before my time, everybody. That's a little
I'm
before my time. It's dating yourself a little bit. I came in with the 3700, which is P2.
Yeah.
Full 1080.
It's hot. I'm really happy that Panasonic kind of made this backwards compatible too, because these accessories can be, you know, mixed and matched with accessories that, you know, a owner-operator might already have. You know, I really wish they drive home the fact that V-Gamut is, you know, better than a lot of other Kelly spaces. However, the dual ISO is not in any other camera system.
I think everybody's favorite function is dual native ISO. Two ISOs on one chip is unheard of.
I think that's the biggest selling point for any of these VariCams is the dual ISO. If you come here and you go to EI and you get out of native mode and we go base 5000, we can now decide to pull from the native 5000, and I could shoot a very clean 3200 and have it be cleaner than if I was using the base 800 and push to 3200, which is kind of like something you gotta think about, but it's like one of the things that we asked as soon as we saw the 35, we're like, hey, can you pull? And it came in a later firmware update, and we're super psyched about it. It works for a lot of our clients because the noise floor definitely does drop.
And that's what they're doing. You know, no one's shooting at it just the base. Everyone's got to, you know, push and pull, you know, because of the combination of lenses, location.
They'll rate it at their own ISO and what they like and what's going to work for the shoot and stuff like that.
Forget about rating ISOs. You know, it's you know, it's all subjective, but the ability to have that range is unheard of.
Right.
No one has that range.
Right.
No one does. I drive that point home. I love saying it. I don't care. I'm not ashamed.
I like to say that the VariCam is definitely not the cheapest camera to buy, but by far the cheapest camera to own. So you're out in the woods, you lose the sun behind the trees, you got one shot left to get. You know, you can either bring in some more lights, schedule another day, go into overtime. You know, like anything you do is going to cost, but with the VariCam, you have another gear there, right? So you can go into the 5000 ISO and just give yourself enough time to get that last final shot.
So the versatility of it is just tremendous. There's nothing like that on the market, by far.
Using the dark is great.
Infrared.
especially
mode?
for reality.
Yeah,
Oh, and the infrared thing's pretty cool.
Oh, when you said see in the dark, I thought you actually meant see in the dark because it actually
that,
does see in the dark.
That takes a little effort, but it's worth it. It's a cool option.
So that alone could, you know, save you a ton of money on your own productions, could get you more jobs, could, you know, make you a hero to all of the people who do hire you.
Lens options.
Oh yeah, well, that's the other thing is EF and PL, and we can do it in-house,
Cinema.
which is awesome for rentals because then we have a ton of EF lenses, and then we have a ton of PL lenses. We have a bunch of lenses that do both, but it's nice that the camera can be fixed and talk to the lenses appropriately and do all that good stuff. LDS or cook information or Canon information for the L series lenses and stuff like that.
It's all solid, ready to go.
Dual link for 12-bit RAW to the Odyssey right now. We're just doing 23.98 full DCI 4K.
Yeah.
We can do UHD and RAW.
Okay.
Which is nice, or 2K or HD.
Actually, if you put a codex recorder on it, you can do all kinds of. You can do 4K, 2K, a 1080 proxy, and the codex on the back with RAW, and all of that at the same time. You know, so at the end of the day, everybody walks away with their files.
I shot a short with this last spring, and we utilized the
gamut?
The proxy recording. Shot a 2:1 aspect ratio. We went kind of weird with it. Classic.
Nice.
And it was nice to be able to burn it in and have the director kind of walk away with it. So the proxy recording is cool, but I think a lot of guys aren't using it to its full extent. Yeah. Like I always tell them what it does and how cool it is and this other stuff, but because you get same file name, same time code, same clips in a 6. How small is this sucker? It's tiny.
6G?
Yeah, it's like 6 megabits per second.
Yeah.
Small. So you can email it, you can share it, and like I said, I put burn-ins for the overlays. You can put time code overlays in. You could put your LUT on there if you want, which is really great.
And you often have clients who are editing on the plane. They do their string out on the plane. By the time they land, a 6-hour flight cross country or something like that, they're able to just uplink it and just record, or uplink it to their high-res files and just color correct.
Because you can just well, that's the thing is they can edit in Premiere or whatever. Yeah. Dump an XML like what I had. Any from any of those NLEs. Yeah. And then what I did was have them give that to me. I had the source footage from the P2 Express cards. Yeah. And linked it right in DaVinci. It's great.
Now I know that they're going to ask for high speed.
Oh well, yeah. Everybody wants high speed now. Because it wouldn't be a VariCam if it didn't have some sort of fun high speed stuff, right?
That's right. And nowadays, if it doesn't do 60, then you kind of like falling short.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, it depends on who you're shooting for and what the requirements are and where this would land in the tier. But this will do full 60p internal, which is great.
Yeah.
240 crop mode in the 2K Avis Intra LT, which is still a very robust codec. A lot of data
Tried
there.
and true.
A lot of data there. So you can rock and roll at 240 internally, but if you want raw, cropped, 10-bit, that's pretty killer. And you can do that with something you may or may not already own. And for us in the rental house, this thing is a jack of all trades and works with a ton of cameras. And it's nice that this will work with something that we've already invested in a number of different ways and continues to improve. Right. Which again, when we have to spend the money and invest either as an owner-operator or as a rental house, it's really great to have that type of stuff and that kind of versatility.
Right. I'm glad we paired it up right now with the Zeiss 21-100, which is one of the lenses that a lot of DPs on this camera are asking for because it gives them a range. I know plenty of DPs that use their zooms as primes, and what it ends up doing, you get a full package, lens and camera, that is now giving you the ability to work very, very fast on set, on location, and get the quality that you would, in a prime lens set and high quality.
And even if you wanted to, this matches really nicely with the CP2s. They'll power all those Fuji lenses with the servos. Yeah. Through the pins, which is great. This Canon 17-120 is a nice fit with it. In fact, every PL zoom in our inventory is an unbelievable fit. If you're an owner-operator, or if you just want to rent the body, and you own a bunch of L series glass, like 70-200 on there is killer. Yeah. 24-105, who cares? It's a T4. Yeah. Because we can go to ISO 5000 and either push or pull. Yeah. And from there.
That's the thing. You know, we got Hotel Impossible where they're you know, they're often going up to 1,600 or whatever the case may be, rather than pushing up from 800. They go 5,000, work back down.
Yeah.
Noise floor is nothing.
Right.
And you're still able to get a phenomenal image. It's more than just the camera head. It's a whole big camera system that is unmatched. You don't have this low light sensitivity in any other camera system.
This camera came out a couple of years ago, and when it did, obviously we didn't have any shows or any momentum. It was a new product. I think last year we had just a handful of shows, including Orange is the New Black. This year I have a lot of shows, and they're constantly coming in every week. I see one or two shows flip into VariCams.
I'm glad Gregor came by to drop off this P2 card, though. We are completely all out.
Yeah, well,
which is a good problem to have.
The cameras keep going out, which is nice. It's great that once it gets in their hands, especially with a show like Hotel with John, the DP on Hotel.
Yeah.
As soon as he got it, he's like, I love this thing.
Yeah.
And he continued to keep wanting it. I mean, one of the big features for him, I know, is the viewfinder. Which he really likes, and he also likes that he can use this as a little screen if he's got to do some low mode stuff.
Best EVF on the market.
But if you don't want it, or if you don't like it, I like that it's a normal SDI port.
Yeah.
So you can put whatever you want there, like
if
a 702 or 502,
or a monitor.
Yeah,
or
and
you
get all the overlays, which is great. You just lose some of the functionality, and like you said, this is a really good screen. Super sharp, and you can adjust it. I have astigmatism. Yeah. So it's hard for me to find a diopter that's going to work out of the box for me, and that's a personal problem.
And I'm left eye dominant.
You're left eye dominant. That's a whole nother problem. But yeah, I can make it where I need it to be, which is great. And you get a lot of controls on the outside here for menu stuff and things like that.
Oh, anyone who's taken the camera out has fallen in love.
It's just versatile, and it does a great job. Like I said, once you get in these guys' hands, they love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Well, that's the thing. Every single DP that has used it has wanted to use it again, and again, and again, and again. And that's all that you can ask for. I mean, that's exactly what we need. Because now all of ours are busy. Mm-hmm. Every single one.
Except for this guy. Well, we're hanging out with it now, which is good.
This one's doing a demo today.
My expectations are for a certain number of cameras to move into the market. I want to saturate the market the way Ari did with the Alexa. That's what I want to do.
Ergonomics is so important, and especially for us when there's a system that just works out of the box. I don't have to buy from third party this, that, or the other thing, which I like a lot of third party products. Don't get me wrong, I like buying third party products. Right. But it's nice to have something where I can just go to my salesperson and say, we need this camera, we need this product, we need this stuff. Yeah. And the ergonomics are great.
Out of the box.
Throw it on your shoulder or something.
Yeah, all right. This feels like a shoulder mount camera, which is what I like. This to me feels more like ENG Cine. ENG Cine, I should say, where you're able to just have it, you get your frame in, okay, hold your shot, you're holding your shot, holding your shot, then you're out. And
if you wanted to, you can record a proxy file at the same time. Ridiculous.
Great. I like it. Here. There you go, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The future is bright. The future is bright. The future is going to be incredible for the VariCam. But the future of VariCam is not a bunch of new products. One of the scariest things is to buy a camera and find out the manufacturer you just bought the camera from just dumped a brand new camera on top of it right after you spent all that money. I don't see this being that because that note has been heard. And so we launched the VariCam 35 3 years ago and have not covered it up since. The future of Panasonic's VariCam line is a very strong camera lineup that can last. It's going to have a lasting effect, and they're not going to be cameras that go out of date. We just continue to introduce better firmwares and making the camera better every day. It's never they're never finished, but they do have a lasting effect when you get one right, and I think we got this one right. Considering all the success that VariCam's having, we couldn't be prouder, and we're definitely standing by for anyone who would want to take the camera for a spin. can find a lot of the information on Panasonic.com/VariCam. Yeah, we look forward to being the team that stands behind your team.